Hi, leaders. Welcome to day 2. We're going to get started in just a minute. We got Jackie logging on right now. Hey, Jackie.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. Hello. Let me do this video.
Ah, nice to see you.
You too. Let's go.
I know, right? Welcome to day 2. We got Mama Marks is coming on.
I might have to mute myself because there's sometimes people coming in and out of here. So
yeah, no worries, no worries. Mama Marks, how you doing?
Good morning. It's still morning. Oh, it's afternoon for you guys. Morning for me.
Right, that's right.
I'm trying to, oh, there it is. I was trying to figure out why I'm dark over here. Not just skin color wise, but gosh. I got the gardeners outside and they were just all over the place. And I got, oh, I gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I got our winning the game. What is it?
No, you
winning
don't.
The game
you got it
on
on
today. Yeah, I got this shirt on. Winning the game.
Winning the game I'm playing. Right.
I love that.
And I thought it was a perfect shirt to wear. We're going to go ahead and get started. I thought it was a perfect, I am recording, so we'll record it for the other ladies as they trickle in here. But I thought it was a good shirt to wear because today is all about showing up and playing the game we want to win, which is having conversations that lead to big contracts. So yesterday, we really went over and just like discovered, hey, what type of clients and what type of projects and what type of business do I want to create around me, right? We put ourselves at the center. We kind of went through and just figured out, okay, what's on my table? What am I bringing to the table? And then what kind of clients and what kind of businesses or, people do I actually want to work with, right? Because it was all centered around you and your sweet spot, which you really want to do in your business and really in life in general, because if you're out of alignment with who you are and what you bring to the table, that's where stress comes in. That's where anxiety comes in. That's where all this added stuff comes in because we're out of alignment with who we really are. So, hi, Gabby. So I thought today was perfect because we're going to just talk about how we show up to these conversations confident and really take sales and marketing completely out of the picture, because this is just all about having discovery conversations and just really getting deeper and having those deeper connections with people so they can tell you what they need and you can turn that into a bigger contract. So that's what we're going to cover today. Oh, I went backwards instead of forward, ladies. My bad. One sec here. There we go. Okay, so for day 2, we'll settle in. We'll do something a little bit different just to get centered, get in community. And then we're going to work on your transformation statement. And I'm going to walk you through how you do that and why that's important. And then how you can turn that into a conversation and really just how you guide a conversation. So at the end of it, there's a really great next step that allows you to come to the table in more of a collaborative way where you really are presenting your true value that leads to a bigger contract and you're not even being compared to other options available. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, because remember, positioning is all about positioning you in that upper quadrant, right? That high value, high price, because you need those bigger contracts to make that money, to keep your business rolling. That's what we need. We need those contracts. So let's just settle in. I know we're all kind of doing all different things at work and it's midday, lunchtime. And I know yesterday, if you guys can just kind of feel your bone and just get settled, get grounded, tall spine, shoulders back. And, again, just put your hands on your heart, on your belly, and just feel your breath. And we're just going to take a few minutes just to breathe and get settled and just feel our breath, get settled into our breath without judgment. Maybe a little bit of fast. I'm breathing a little bit heavy, a little anxious, a little excited, but no judgment in that. Just getting settled and just accepting wherever we are, stressed, whatever. We're just going to get settled and relax and just breathe. And really, instead of doing some breaths together like we did yesterday, I'd really just love to just hear from you all as far as anything that was discovered that came up yesterday. Maybe you want to share your hashtag, or maybe something that you thought about, or an action step that maybe you took in regards to your hashtag. Just anything that you'd like to share with the group just to get in community. Feel free to unmute your lines, or I think I can unmute. And just let us know if you'd like to share. Just kind of wanted to open it up. No. I feel like Jackie's trying to unmute.
Okay, so I want to share just the excitement, right? And the inspiration, because there's a lot of times when we think about these are the things that we want to do. And sometimes is it just me? You know, is it just me that I'm putting certain things in my mind? But when you come into community and what you've created for us to come together and be like, no, this is a thing, like this is a reality that we can make happen. And I just found myself so excited after our meeting yesterday. Like I felt so empowered, almost like I was stepping into my own power. And I was just like, I had a little extra pep in my step yesterday. I even was talking to my oldest son, and I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, you know, the whole time, like we have what we need already, right? We have that within ourselves. And it was just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a reminder that we have that, right? And now we have the guidance, and it's just, it feels good. And so I was just like talking, and I'm excited sharing all this stuff with him. And I'm like, you know, I said, I'm excited to see like where it's going to take me for our family. Right. So I just want to thank you, Meg, because it really impacted me yesterday after the meeting. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I love that. Thank you so much. That makes me feel so good. Well, then today, I can't wait to get into today, because you're going to now, because we were just exploring yesterday. So now we're going to learn how to take all that exploration and put it into some action to really get conversations rolling. And again, you don't need, and I'm going to explain this a little bit. I wanted to just spend a little bit of time to just give you guys like a lay of the land of marketing, okay? Because if we don't understand B2B and why you can really take the pressure off of getting a website and an email list and all of the things that everyone's throwing at you when you start a business, you'll get like 20 phone calls of marketing people and everybody telling you, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time to explain some differences in why I love targeting businesses. Okay. And why it's so easy to target a business versus building a brand to consumers. And I just wanted to explain a little bit, because I think it's really, really important for you to understand. And this is going to help you walk into conversations, again, even more confident, Jackie. And with that confidence that you're there to solve problems. And I'm going to just tell you why, because that's really what's important to businesses. So on the left-hand side, when I say B2B, that is meaning the business is going to pay for your services out of their business account. You're targeting another businesses, the business is going to pay for it. You may help individuals within that business, right? But it's coming out of a business account. They're going to pay from you out of whatever business. A consumer is like a personal account, right? They're going to pay for that out of their checking, their savings, their credit card, whatever. So it's coming out of their personal account. So you're targeting a group of people. And I want to make a distinction, because again, this is where marketing is the same, in that all marketing, all business, all connection sales are built around the agreement of trust, right? I'm going to trust that when I buy this product, I'm going to get this result, or when I trust, I'm going to hire you, you're going to do the job. And that's what we want to build throughout these journeys, whether you're targeting people or businesses. But when it comes to consumers, to people, it's really about people's needs, right? And that's why you'll hear a lot in marketing, like you need to define your niche. You need to define your niche, right? And then once you define what your needs are and the group of people that have that needs, then you need to start driving awareness. And that's where you hear you got to do your marketing, you got to do your Facebook and your email, and you got to have this, because you got to drive awareness around those group of people, around those needs that they have, right? for businesses, do not take this personal, but we all know this, right? When they say it's not personal, it's just business. Because businesses don't care about needs. They don't care about your needs. They don't care about needs. Why? Because a business is in the business of profit. A business cares about their money, their profit, and what problems impact their profit. That's all they care about. Because if they really cared about needs of even clients or employees, clients would never leave and employees would never leave. But they don't necessarily always address the needs. They want their profit. Okay. And that's why you identify the problem and then you position your sweet spot, right? And it's really more about proving that you can perform and you can meet those problems, whether it's past history that you have. That's why I said I started with a Dropbox folder of past work history, past decks I had, just things I did in the past, or expertise, certifications, any training, your history. That's where your sweet spot comes in, because that is all based upon what you do best, right? You perform best in solving these problems. So I hope this is setting up that you can take all this like marketing and sales out of the equation when you target businesses, and why it's so easy to position yourself for higher value, because it's really about solving those problems. That's it. And now you're probably asking, okay, well, I don't know what problems are in a business. And when you think about people have like a lot of needs. They have a lot of problems, right? That's why it's so hard to build a brand when you're targeting consumers, because you have to be consistent at addressing those needs over and over and over and over and over again. And people will finally build and build and build that trust, right? And that's why it's hard. It's hard to build a brand when you're targeting consumers. Businesses, it's a little bit easier and that's how you're going to help. So day one, we're going to talk about the problems, right? So day one is we identified your ideal client based upon your sweet spot. Today, we're going to talk about the problems, and really only two things that you guys need is your statement to show how you can address that problem to pique their interest. And that's all you need is piqued interest, and how to drive a conversation to go deeper into those problems so you can identify how you can solve them with your expertise. So that's all we're going to do today. And that's all you need to go out literally and get a contract within the next 30 days. Like literally, you can start tomorrow having these conversations. Okay. So now I know you guys are probably thinking, okay, well, I don't know business. Like, what are problems that businesses have? And this is why, again, I'm all about easy, guys. This is why I love targeting businesses, because there's only two problems. Two problems. They need to make money or they need to save money. That's it. That's it. That's it. And then in there's little swim lanes and how you can help, or what are the major things that are important to a business tied around making them money or saving them money. And that has to do with, I can help you get more customers, or I can help the customers you have spend more money with you. That's what I can do. And we can show you, I'll show you here in a minute how we create these statements, but it's all centered around these two things with these swim lanes. Or I can help you reduce costs by making your people stay, making them more productive, and reducing anything that you're wasting your dollars on. So if you think about wellness or coaching or mindset or a lot of the things that you guys are interested in, think about staff retention. You're in that reducing cost bucket of staff retention and productivity. These are their problems. I'm going to show you when you get into the conversation how everything that you ask, you will eventually get to. My staff is leaving. They're not working well. I'm losing customers. Whatever the case may be, it'll all come down to their money. I'm losing money, or I need to make more money. That's it. This is business 101. I just wrapped up 4 years of business college in a few seconds. They need to make money or save money. And this is how you can, that's all business. Okay. So when you create your transformation statement, right now that we know who your audience is because we went through your ideal client yesterday, and now we know what their problems are because they're either tied to making money or losing money. So if it's a problem could be they're losing staff. Staff is burnt out. Staff is fatigued. Staff is unhealthy. They have unhealthy habits. They have unhealthy Zoom room habits. They, whatever their problem is that's tied to losing that money through their staff being unproductive, not being bought into the culture, right? Or they're maybe they're not able to shift their marketing strategy in this new pandemic, in this new world, and they're losing customers. So how to go in and help them, right? So what is the audience and what is their problem? And then when they work with you, what are you going to transform? What will their new reality be? What are you going to shift for them? Are you going to give them more energy? Are you going to give them more connection, more collaboration, which is going to help them be more productive, right? Are you going to help them? What is the new reality after working with you can be? And then how do you help? And this is the beauty. Do not try to figure out what your package is or your product, because the client is going to tell you when you get the conversation. All you're doing right now is piquing the interest to say, that sounds interesting. I'd like to have a conversation. That's all business wants to do, is have a conversation to go deeper on how you can transform their problem. Okay. And that's all centered around you, which is why you need to really go through that sweet spot and identify who are the businesses that you want to work with that fit you, because you want to come in and really be able to solve those problems. And you can do that through workshops, me through marketing plans or strategy plans or sales enablement training, or, these are just things that I've done or how I can help, but I don't need to define that because the client is going to help define that for you in your conversation. All you need to do is just pique the interest. So, for staff who's, working in, I don't know, staff who's working in retirement homes, right? They're burnt out, they're running ragged, they're feeling burnt out, they have a lot of stress. You can implement a 30-day coaching program that can help them get healthy routines, be more productive, and get in collaboration and community with their fellow coworkers. And you can create a challenge and make it fun and be in community. And you could sell that like hotcakes right now. Gabby could tell you they buy workshops and they're doing a lot of things right now to help employees with their health, with their management, with these types of things, because of the world that we're in. There's definitely money for wellness and coaching and things like that, as well as strategy. Think about, we're in the great resignation right now. So a lot of people are leaving, a lot of people are taking breaks, and there is tons of room for you to come in and provide temporary, gap, fill that gap while they're finding people. Because you have that, maybe you have an expertise, or again, you have that sweet spot. So you can come in and solve particular distinct problems, right? Very, very easily. So this is how you create that transformation statement. So this was okay, when I went through this myself, again, I did all of this myself to see, okay, can this really work? And I'm telling you, this is how I got those contracts really quickly. I was just, thinking startups, when it comes to a startup in a technology, they got to get to $10 million fast, or they're going to go out of business. Remember, after that 5 years, half of them are going to go out of business, and they don't get to 10 mil. You're not going to get investors, and it's just really hard. I got to get to that 10 million. So I can come in there. And again, I don't have all the details, but I know I'm good because of my sweet spot. I'm good at strategy, and I'm good at positioning, helping sales position that their differentiation in their strategy, right? The other one was like tech companies. They're shifting, they're gobbling up other platforms. Well, they need help shifting their message. So that's what I know how to do. I know how to come in, I know how to kind of, remember, that's my sweet spot. Take complicated messages, make them simple, and enable your sales. So those are some of the projects that I've been able to search for and able to get, because I'm just looking at what's my ideal client and what problems do they have that I know I can solve, and I have an idea. And now I can go out and search and pique their interest. Okay. So, and this is, I go, hey, I help startups that don't necessarily have a mature product marketing function move from low engagement and close rates to an accelerated pipeline by developing go-to-market strategies and sales enablement plans. Hey, that sounds interesting. Let's talk. I have a huge need right now. We're about to launch something. Nobody knows how to do it right. I definitely need your help. Great, let's have a conversation. Bam. Okay, here's another one. So this was like the main reason why I just wanted to do this, ladies, because I'm literally going through this exercise myself, because as I mentioned yesterday, through the burnout and just getting a hold of my own anxiety, I've gone through coaching and social emotional learning and just doing a lot of discovery around emotional health and learning and burnout. And like, how do you recover? And you still got to work full time. You still got to be a mom, and I'm burnt out. I can't get a break. So I'm just kind of curious. Maybe there's something there for other corporations. Maybe they could benefit from social emotional health, social emotional learning. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to create my own transformation statement. I have no product, I have nothing, but maybe I can go start having some conversations with other businesses around who are having problems with burnout. So I went through this exercise. Who's my audience? High stress start, like high stress, high performing, right? What's their pain? Burnout, a lot of sick days, people taking FMLAs, people leaving, right? What's the new reality? They'll have better collaboration, happy work-life balance. People are going to stay. How can I help? Maybe some programs, maybe some plans, maybe some assessments. I'm not quite sure. And then here's where I can go. Oh, sorry. Here would be my transformation, my workshops, because I don't know, maybe it's a workshop, maybe it's something, can help sales and marketing managers shift from a team filled with fatigue and burnout to one that's highly productive and connected using SEL, skills training, and stress reduction strategies. So I can go have conversations or email some sales and marketing managers that I know are fatigued as crazy right now, right? And throw this in front of them, see if they want to have a conversation. Okay. Same here with the LeadHer workshop, high performing women that are stressed and burnout, and they want to build a 6-figure business on their own terms. And I'm going to give them 3 simple steps. Okay. So here's just to spend a few minutes, just kind of think about, here's kind of your template of my, like if you're Jackie, like your mindset, like my mindset programs helps districts who are, suffering with disciplinary actions and things like that. You know what I mean? Shift from to what will be the new reality using what? How do you help? And that's why just my workshops helps who shift, what's their pain, what's their problem, to what's the new reality, how do you help? How do you do that? Using what? Health coaching practices, from where, with, whatever it could be, whatever your sweet spot is. How do you help? Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm just going to take, just pause a little bit. Any questions or anything? Okay, because this is part 1, where you, again, just the statement to pique the interest, because all you need is for them to say, that sounds interesting. Let's have a conversation. This could be with any client. I mean, it could be with the individual too, but That sounds interesting. Let's have a conversation. Okay, I'm gonna go through. This was another example. And then from here, this is where like marketing kind of comes in, right? You can see there's a lot of different ways that you can approach, but you can see it all is just driving connections, and you can do it one to many. Like I'm kind of doing a one to many approach right now. I've been on Facebook. I've been on Facebook or Instagram. That's all I know. And I'm doing a live webinar. And then from here, there could be an application, or hey, let's do some coaching together, or hey, let's do this together, right? Or you could do the one-to-one where you have your transformation statement. I have this, you're sending a direct email, and then you're getting that discovery call. A good way to do that is guest speaking or going to events. So if you're, again, going back to yesterday, if you're targeting local businesses, you're going to want to be out speaking in the local community. That's how you're going to find these opportunities to speak to people. Okay, so again, there's lots of different ways to find people, make those connections, but all you need is just that one transformation statement to pique the interest, to again just get to this qualification. And that's where we're going to get to next. So one is develop your transformation statement. Then the next is you pique the interest to have a conversation. And this is all you need to get to the contract, which we're going to talk about on day 3. But I want to really dive into how you guide a conversation so that it is seen as a value-based conversation, and not one that puts you in a place where you're nickel and diming and discounting your services. Because remember, you're coming to the table with value. Okay, so I really wanted to dive into the conversation framework and just kind of, again, hopefully this takes the stress and the anxiety, because you know your girl is the worst when it comes to this stuff. So that's why I was like so excited, because I don't ever feel anxious now when I'm in these conversations, because if I feel like I have to show up and sell something, that means I have to show up perfect. And then, you know, my whole anxiety gets triggered from there. So this takes all of that out. I don't have to show up anyhow. I just have to show up curious. I just have to show up curious as to, hey, is this a good fit? Can I help this person? Can I help this business? That's it. Okay. So when you get to the conversation, you want to remember that this is a journey. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this a little bit deeper, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I get my notes here, is that the real purpose of this meeting is for you. This is for you. Again, everything is about you, ladies. This is a meeting for you. Okay. So the pressure isn't on you. The pressure is really on them, because you're going to ask questions to figure out if there's something here that you can help them with. And really, if this is a client that you want to work with, because sometimes clients don't have it together. And you want to work with clients that do that have goals, that have vision, that you can come in, it's defined, and there's an outcome. And because you want to be involved in projects like that. That's how you're going to get the next project. You don't want to get in a project that doesn't feel right. It doesn't. So this first call, you're not selling anything. You're getting curious as to what their problems are and going deeper into how you can solve them. And that's it. And you're taking a lot of notes. That's all you're doing in this first call. Okay. Because if you don't, okay, so I'm just going to talk about the journey. So we're going to connect with them. We're going to explore where they are. We're going to establish where they want to be, and we're going to figure out how we can help. Okay. And it's really, and then commit to working together. And it's centered around a framework, because, you know, Your girl loves simple. It's what I'm good at. It's my sweet spot. Now you guys know. Okay. I like big complicated. It's because I was raised in chaos, so I'm like good at trying to simplify things and make things actionable so they can be solved. Our nickname in my house is we were the Peroni problem solvers. So this is why I'm good at this. We're always solving problems. And this is what is all about, solving problems. So we're going to frame this up in the first step. One is the frame up. Step 2 is defining the gap. Step 3 is how you can work with them. And then we're going to talk about next steps. But this is kind of the framework. So we're going to dive into this, just a little bit further so you guys can understand what this looks like. I have some examples. We're going to dive into what this looks like and actually sounds like. Okay. So the frame up is critical. This is critical. Okay, so one, it's going to help your prospect get comfortable, but most importantly, it's going to set the tone for the conversation. That this is an opportunity to brainstorm. You are in control. Remember, the person who is asking the questions is the person who is in charge of the conversation. So remember, you are the leader, no pun intended. And now you know what you bring to the table. So you're not being interviewed. This is not an interview. Okay. And I really need you guys to take on that mindset. You are coming to the table as a leader with value, serious value. Okay. And so it's really important that you come to the table like that. And oftentimes, what you'll see is, well, hey, we want to know, we heard about you and we want to know, we're just looking at different vendors. So what do you do? Tell me about what you do. Again, this is not an interview. Okay. You don't want to start off with talking about you. And this is the reason, this is why I argue with sales in corporate all the time with this, because they want to start talking about themselves. And when you start talking about yourselves and what you do, what happens is you lose your position. Because remember, positioning is where you fit, not just in the marketplace, where you fit in the mind of your buyer. If you start talking about yourself, remember, they're coming in with the mind that you're like something else. Our human brain wants to figure out, where do you fit? It's just our natural brain. We want to fit. Where do you fit? So when you say, well, tell me about what you do, and you say, well, I do coaching. Now, guess what? You're in the category of every single coach that is not, they're now, or all the other vendors that they're now talking to, and you're now seen as a commodity. This is why you get in price wars. This is why sales discounts. This is why sales, when you get into a price discussion, positioning has left the building. Your position is gone. Okay. So this is why it's very, very important that you walk in as a leader and you own the conversation. So when somebody says, well, tell me about what you do, you can say, well, yeah, before we jump into that, I'm really interested. What made you want to connect today? Well, we wanted to brainstorm other benefits we could offer our employees. Well, why is offering other benefits a priority for you? And he'll probably say, well, because we lost some benefits with our program and, we want to retain, ding, ding, ding. We want to retain employees. Going back to that other slide, everything will come back to, I need to save money or I need to make more money. And you keep asking, why is that important? Why is that a priority? Tell me what your managers are up to. Tell me what's going on. Why, again, getting to, how are you losing money? How are you not making money? And you peel it back until you get to, well, we're losing employees. Wow. Okay. You're losing employees. I know the pain. I know my problem. Okay, now I know my problem. They're going to tell you. Okay, so here's another one that you'll get into. You'll say that. You'll say, like, oh, I'm glad you're connecting today. Tell me why you decided. Well, I understand you coach, and I'm just wondering what kind of results, what type of results you can get my managers. And then you can flip that to, is getting better results a priority for you? Why? Well, again, right? We're getting back to why. Why is that a priority? Well, they're responsible for sales. Oh, sales, they must be losing money. Ding, ding, ding. See, it's all tied to money. Find the profit problem. What is hurting their bank account? Because a business cannot be a business if it ain't making money, honey. It just can't. And every business has a problem tied to their profit. This is why I'm like, ladies, we are stretched so thin in corporate. Find one thing you like to do in corporate, and I guarantee you'll find 20 businesses that have that same problem where you can do one thing over and over and over and charge whatever you want. You don't need to do 30 different roles. You can do one thing. If you just get really clear and focus on the problems that you solve. A lot of us are stretched. So that was my problem. I was stretched so thin. I didn't know what the heck I was really good at until I kind of went through this, like, okay, well, what do I want to be good at? Like, I'm stretched so thin just to make $1, but like, I actually have something to bring to the table now. So we got to take these mindsets, because it's really, really important, because I really do believe that's why women are stretched. We got so much going on because we really don't focus on one thing and what we bring to the table, and having these really value-based conversations with people. You could do this if you're in a recruiting conversation. Turn it around on the recruiter, on who's hiring you. And I guarantee you'll get a higher salary. I guarantee you'll get a higher salary. Okay. I've done that. Somebody offered me a salary and I turned around and said, you got to pay me 20 grand more. And guess what? They paid me 20 grand more because I knew my sweet spot. You can do these. You are more valuable than what you realize. So we got to be able to come in and own these conversations, lady, about what we're worth. Okay. It's like, I'm really passionate about it. Okay. So then the next thing is, now, okay, you know the problem. Well, what's the gap? I think it's like in when you're in the subway station, they say, like, mind the gap, which is that line that you have to stand behind to mind the gap between where the platform is and where the train comes. There's a gap. And that's where you can solve problems that are worth sometimes upwards of millions of dollars. If I have a startup who's at $6 million and I can get you to $10 million and then get you another $10 million from an investor, why am I charging $50 an hour? Doesn't make any sense. You got to define the gap to find the value so you can position yourself for a bigger contract. You are not an hourly person. No more. You got too much value. You know what you bring to the table now. So this isn't pay me by the hour. This is pay me by my performance, by what I can solve for you. And this is why defining a gap is important, because you need to define, what is this costing you? What is this problem now costing you? Okay, so this is where you want to jointly establish where they currently are and where they want to be. You can learn about their priorities, you can understand their vision, you can understand their barriers, you can explore, like, the value of this initiative. What will that mean to their profit if they solve it? And determine how they will measure success. Okay. And again, these are all questions. You're not thinking of anything right now except gathering this information. So, do you have a goal where you'd like to be? Let's say you're talking to somebody in HR and you got some wellness or, something that can benefit employees. And you have maybe they got a 20%, let's just say 20% retention, or 20% of their employees are leaving. And it's like, wow, do you have a goal for where you'd like to be next year? Yeah, we'd like to reduce that by half. if you can reduce their retention by 10%, do you know how much value that is to a business? Think about how much it costs to ramp up and train and retain an employee. Thousands, thousands of dollars. If you can get to that level of detail in your conversation and you can show them how you can help them reach those goals, now you're not nickel and diming and talking per hour. Now you're talking real value. You're talking business, profit making value. We're talking Mercedes. Talking the Mercedes here, right? We want the Mercedes pain, right? Okay. So that's how you want to. So what's your biggest marketing focus? Well, we'd like to increase traffic to our website. Okay, well, what have you tried? We've done to Facebook, writing blogs. So again, getting to what are you doing? What's been working? What hasn't been working? Start to dig for what. So if this is like, well, what are your current metrics? Sometimes if they don't know, is this a client you want to work with? Sometimes they may not even have answers to these questions. This is a red flag for you that, hey, this may not be a project you want to get involved in. It's not clear defined, doesn't have vision. You're just going to be spinning your wheels and all stressed out and, you know, all the stuff. So again, dig into what's the pain and how is that tied to dollars? How is that tied to their profit? Okay. Let's see. See if I got another example that I threw in here. Doing good on time. Okay. Lastly is, is how you work with the client. And this is just really clarifying the problem and just giving some options. And a lot of times, and this is what we're going to cover tomorrow, is how you can take all of this information and then put it into some packaging and offerings for your client. But usually when it comes to businesses, it's like either you provide the content or, you know, you provide the challenge, right? You provide the 14-week reset cleanse, right? Or the challenge, and they do it themselves. You provide everything, and then you can train the HR director to, to launch that internally, and they'll do it, right? That's kind of like one, or the other option is you go in and you do everything for them. They don't want to manage challenges or a health coaching program. They don't want to do that. So they kind of want you to come in and really manage it and execute it end to end and do it all. So that's kind of like how you work with clients is, sometimes I provide a plan or a strategy, or other times, like this was me, other times I can provide that one-on-one coaching for other product marketers who maybe aren't as familiar with product marketing, get them ramped up faster. So again, I don't really have, this is just how I work to get an idea of, well, what are next steps for you? How do you see this working out? Or what do you imagine? Let the customer tell you. Just ask questions. They will tell you what they want. I see it working like this. Like I'm having a conversation tomorrow on this very thing. I haven't done any training program, anything. I'm meeting with him tomorrow. He's going to tell me everything he wants. And I'm going to put it in a contract and we're going to sign it. I don't have these programs. I don't have this training, but that's what he's paying me to do. I just came in with, I have expertise. I have this expertise. So let's work together. Yeah, I want to work with you, Meg. Cool. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not sales. It's no marketing. These are just literal conversations about business problems tied to either making money or saving money. And that's really what it boils down to. And so when you get to this part of the conversation, you just want to recap, hey, this is what I'm hearing. Does that capture everything? Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, but you know what? You could also, and this will always happen. You know what? We also have this problem because you're opening up, you're connected now. We're still humans. We're still humans, guys. We still need that connection. We still need that conversation. So now you could get even more if you needed to. Just recap. And then you can say, you know what? What I'm hearing is that you really need to get through X and Y. You really need to increase employee wellness and their habits. and increase productivity, right? Because you're just hearing, you're just kind of summarizing, and you'll feel that as you're having the conversation. And they'll tell you, yeah, and these other things. And then, great. Well, after that, I work in clients with several ways. Sometimes I offer workshops, sometimes I work with them one-on-one. What do you think? What is an ideal situation? What does success look like for you? How would you like to see something like this happen? And they'll tell you, no, I really like seeing some workshops, or, I blah, 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 blah. And they'll tell you, you just write it down, and tomorrow I'll tell you how to put it in a contract. But that's it. And they'll tell you, I like the option of us really executing it. Like tomorrow, the conversation is, I like the option of you doing it. I'm managing my entire marketing team. My product marketing team is brand new and I don't have time. So if you can come in and get them ramped up, I like the option of that. Cool. I can do that. Okay. So again, you don't have to know any answers. This is just all like exploration, getting curious. How can you help them? And it should be very custom to whatever their needs are, whatever they need to do, whatever their problems are, not necessarily their needs, but problems. And then finally, because you don't have a product, right? You want to get a next meeting scheduled. So, I've been taking lots of notes. Thank you for this information. What I heard is this. The next step would be to schedule the meeting, because the next meeting, you're going to take all of this, all of your notes, and you're going to put it into the template, your literal notes into the template. And you guys are going to get back together and you're going to collaborate. You're going to think of some ideas, and I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow. And you're going to get back together and you're going to just collaborate. Because again, this is how you're working together, not a sales, I'm here to sell you something. I'm here to solve a problem. And I need your participation to do that. So you want to schedule a next step, like, hey, I need till the end of the week to think through a proposal or to put something down on paper for us to react to. Just put something down. It does not have to be perfect. And this is, if there's any perfectionist, this was another thing that I really had to work on, was like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be put on paper. And then the person will tell you, and they will shape you. They will tell you, no, this is exactly what I want. And then you'll just get it signed. So you don't have to even be perfect in what you present to them. They appreciate the collaboration. They appreciate that you're taking the time to give them exactly what they need. And that is why they will pay you a $25,000 contract instead of $25 an hour. That is why, ladies. That is why. Okay. So this is all so important. And then you can ask, like, what else does it need to make this happen? Again, the bigger the business, right? I usually work with bigger corporations, bigger businesses, and they usually have a CEO. They got to run it by their boss. They got to make the case. So you may need to help them sell it. If it's a big contract, it's going to take some work to get it sold. If it's, you know what I mean? So just try to get an idea of what is it going to take for us to make this happen. Then that way I can think of other things to include, right? So just make sure you're getting all of this information before you end that call. And then make sure you're scheduling the call as well. Okay. So we covered a lot. I know we're kind of at the end of the time. There's like somebody who's got a little background noise. Do you guys hear that? Please can mute your line. Okay, cool. So for each step, what I would recommend is identify, and I'll have these in the workbook too, ladies. So, but just think about, what are the two questions, your pivot questions? right? From one step, because it's a journey. Your conversation is a journey. You're just gathering information. You're just discovering what the problem is, what the gap is, and how you can help, and how that's tied to their profit. So think of like 2 questions in the frame up. Think of your intro. So tell me what you're creating today, or tell me what you guys are creating. Tell me what your managers are up to. Tell me why we're meeting today. What's going to be that kind of tell me why we're here question? And then also, is that a priority for you? We had a couple in here. Is that a priority for you? Why? What's another kind of layer? Because you want to be a little bit prepared to get it started. And then you want to listen to keep it going. Okay. But just be prepared to get the steps of your conversation started with a couple questions, so you don't have that moment of because that's when you get anxiety, and we don't want that. We don't want no stress and anxiety. I don't need it. Okay, so again, what are the 2 power questions for the frame up? Defining the gap. What are how you can work together? What do you see the next steps as? That's a good question for that one. What do you see the next steps as? How do you see this working? Or when you were thinking of searching for a solution, what were you envisioning? Right? Because they have an idea of what they want. They already have it. You just need to get it out of their head and put it in a contract. Okay? So that is what we're going to do tomorrow. Is then, now that you've had this conversation, right? And now that you've got all these notes, and you know what their problem is, you know what they've done in the past, you know what they're doing and what's not working, maybe what is, you know how much value that is to the business, and you know what their goals are, you know what they want to do, you know what they're trying to accomplish. You have some numbers tied to that. Now you can go and put that into some where you're pricing on value and not on hours. We don't do hourly wage anymore. We don't do that here. There's no hourly. We're on a retainer, or we're getting a contract. There's no hourly. I don't count hours. I give you access to my expertise. And hey, if I work 5 hours, I work 5 hours to give you that expertise. If I have to work 20, I'll work 20, but I don't have to tell you what I'm working. If I work 1 hour, I work 1 hour. If I'm solving your problem, it doesn't matter how many hours it takes me to solve that problem. It doesn't. It shouldn't. So we got to get out of this hourly wage. We're in an hourly wage because we don't see our value. You don't know what you bring to the table. You got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Even in your career, I know you're getting paid by the hour, but you're getting a salary. You need a higher salary, sis. If they don't know what you bring to the table, get your sweet spot and go get you another employer who will. It's that easy. People need you. It's that easy. This is no more, I'm going to stress for this mess. Heck no. If I'm going to stress, it's stressing about taking vacations. It's stressing about how I'm going to show up for my kids. It's that kind of stress. It's not, I have to work an extra 10 hours and I'm not going to get paid for it. That game is done. That game is over, because we've got to get clear on our sweet spots, ladies. That is over. You cannot sustain it. I'm telling you, you got to listen to me. It's not sustainable. You are going to burn the heck out. You're gonna burn out, and then you're screwed. And then the real work begins, right? You got to dig yourself out. And nobody wants that. Okay, so that's my little lecture for the day on getting that confidence, coming to the table confident with real value, because now you know, and now you know you can make serious money with your skills, your hands. This is about our hands, and they know how to multiply. So make them work, make your hands work for you. So tomorrow, now that we know who we want to talk to, Now we know how to have conversations, right, that lead to value. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to put that in a contract. And ladies, I literally put it in a Word doc. I don't have anything fancy. I sell 25, 30, 60, 70K contracts in a Word doc. You do not need anything fancy. You do not. Okay, so we're going to walk through your conversation. Now you put it in a proposal so y'all can collaborate, and I'll show you how to package it. But the majority of tomorrow is going to be spent on, and Coach Yo, my mama Mark's over there, you're going to know this, the money mirror exercise, where we figure out really why we're not making money. Because you not having the money that you want is not tied to you not having the skills to make that money, girl. It's tied to the belief and the relationship that we have with money. And I'm so excited about tomorrow, because this is a game changer, because women don't like to talk about money, but we have to talk about money. I heard yesterday that some of your hashtags were about leaving a legacy. Sis, you can't leave nothing if you don't have any money. We've got to talk about money, and we got to talk about our ability to make money. We have to. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to package it in a way that it's a value, right? It's a value-based offering. But really, none of them matters, because you're going to price yourself off the table, out of the table, if you don't really understand the emotions that are tied that you have with money. Everything we do is emotional. So we're going to dig into what that could be. We're just going to, again, kind of end on exploring what is this thing with money, and then what's an action step that I can take to really face that money mirror head on, ladies. You got to look in the mirror and face these issues. We've got to. If we want to make change, we got to face what's keeping us stuck. And so tomorrow we're going to face some of that, and we're just going to get curious, no judgment, right? Because we're all in this together. And we're just going to create some action steps on something that we can do to take major action and rewire our nervous system about this whole money thing, because it's all tied to that. And we got to get through it, because we all have the capability. I believe every woman on this call is a billionaire. I'm sorry, if Kim can make money off of a selfie, or Kylie can make billions off of a lip kit, you can't make $1 billion off of your skills? For real? For real? Come on. Yes, we can. So it's all about how we show up. That's why I got my, it's all about the game we're showing up to win for. And we're going to show up to win these value-based conversations, and show up for ourselves, most importantly, but also our families and everything, our communities. We're going to show up confident and show up that we bring real value to the table and can solve real big problems for our clients and our communities, and for our the people we want to work with. Okay, so I hope you guys, I hope that pumped you up for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be really powerful in that money mirror exercise. It was a game changer in my whole mentality around money, and even thinking that I even could do it, something like that. And that's why when I discovered all this, I was like, I gotta share this with my sisters, because we all gotta get on this boat and really start to gain the momentum to do the things that we know how to do. So right. I hope this was helpful today. Remember, think about your transformation statement and your questions, your value-based, your framework questions. Those are kind of the big two for today and for day 2, because tomorrow we're going to talk about how to put that in a contract, talk about money, and then you're going to be ready to go have conversations, and I'm going to help you every step of the way. So we're going to get some contracts within these next 30 days. I know it. So so let's stay tuned for tomorrow. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys then.
Okay.
Bye.